begin tonight with an update on the Washington County deputy who was shot multiple times on Wednesday. He was hit in the face and the chest, prompting a massive police response to an apartment complex in Tualatin. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Blair Best. Deputy Charles Doze is now awake and talking to family members after being rushed to the hospital in critical condition. He was trying to deliver an eviction notice when police say he was shot by the suspect through a door. Let's bring in Thomas Schultz. And Thomas, how long could his recovery take?
Blair, Washington County Sheriff's officials say it may take months or even years to recover. They say Doze is one of the kindest, caring members of the Sheriff's Office, and this shooting has shocked hundreds of law enforcement officers.
It's somber because you don't know what's going to happen, or at the very beginning you don't even necessarily know who's involved, right?
Charles Doze, a 10-year Washington County deputy, was shot through a door Wednesday morning. He was trying to deliver an eviction notice at the Forest Rim apartment complex in Tualatin.
They were ambushed at the door. They knocked on the door and they weren't greeted by a person. They were greeted by gunfire.
Doze is a civil deputy who serves legal orders, enforces court orders, and Washington County ordinances. With his return to work now in question, deputies are trying to help his family any way they can. Patrick Altier helped start a GoFundMe for Doze that has already raised more than $50,000.
This is going to be a long recovery process, and we're talking, months or years. We don't know what the income impacts are going to be down the road. We don't know any of that.
The suspect in the shooting is 34-year-old Christopher James Graves. One deputy returned fire on Graves, but it's not yet known who. After an hours-long standoff, Graves was found dead in the apartment bathroom, shot at least once. It's unknown if it was self-inflicted or if he was shot by a deputy.
There's no way to prepare or be ready for that.
Altier says in the past few years, 3 Washington County deputies have been injured on the job. 2 were shot. Wednesday's shooting is a grim reminder for other deputies.
They're horrified about it. Their own vigilance is probably renewed a little bit.
Altier says Doze has extended family in town sitting with him as he recovers at the hospital. If you'd like to help in Doze's recovery, you can find a link to his GoFundMe page on our website, kgw.com. Blair?
Thomas, thank you. Well, a man is dead after a hit-and-run crash in northeast Portland today. It happened just after midnight by Northeast Gleason and 60th. Police found a man dead when they arrived. He'd been walking and was hit by a car. The driver who hit him was gone at that point and has not been arrested yet. If you have any information about this, please contact Portland Police. Well, Portland firefighters had to deal with what they describe as a challenging warehouse fire this morning. It broke out on Swan Island. They say it was difficult because there was a locked gate with no one around to open it, no sprinklers at the warehouse, and it was filled with carpeting material and rubber matting. But despite all that, crews were able to get inside and put it out. They're still investigating the cause. Well, now to an update on wildfire season. Closures around the Bedrock fire in Lane County have expanded. This includes all lands, roads, trails, and campgrounds near the fire that's burning in the Willamette National Forest. The fire has burned more than 9,000 acres. The smoke is also expected to keep expanding into Central Oregon. Well, let's bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri now with a look at smoke and fire conditions. And Joe, are things going to improve this week?
They will a little bit, especially throughout the high desert and the east side of the state where they have been dealing with basically thick smoke here going on a week, maybe 2 weeks in a few locations, especially some of the more rural areas. But as we put this into motion, you can kind of see where the smoke from the Bedrock fire is going to be just kind of funneling in, heading into tonight and into tomorrow throughout parts of Bend and into the southeast pocket of Oregon. But heading into tomorrow, that smoke will start to lighten up. But in terms of the air quality, it's still going to be kind of taking a hit over in the high desert. You can kind of see that red color is the unhealthy category, also down to the moderate in a few locations. But meanwhile, many locations throughout the west side of the state and the east side of the state are looking at the good air quality, at least for the time being. But as we look at the weather headlines for the next couple of days, smoke stays east of the Cascades for tomorrow, dry all week long, no chance of rain. And again, we're looking at temperatures out there in the upper 70s to low 80s for your daytime highs. It's going to be just as nice heading into tomorrow, and then we'll gradually warm up. But again, Blair, the fire danger is going to be remaining high over the next few days. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Well, dams are a topic of debate these days as people weigh the benefit of a clean energy source and ecosystem damage that dams can do. Now a new study by Oregon State University, the USGS, and others look at the costs of dam removal. The study compiled costs for 668 dams removed from 1965 to 2020 in the U.S. When adjusted for inflation, the removals cost $1.52 million. The study helped find common themes in what it costs to remove the dams, including costs of mitigating damage of the dam removal. That's things like replanting vegetation and clearing contaminated sediment.
So we really wanted to kind of keep track of as much of that as we could so that we could create a tool that could predict for a given dam and a given location and a range of project complexities what the cost estimate would be for just a planning level kind of cost estimate.
Well, work on the model will continue to evolve to better help decision makers grapple with how to manage the large number of dams that will become obsolete in the future.